Okay, so let's do this this quickly.
I think I got Hebrew better.
So as the English name of the book indicates, this parsha is obsessed with numbers, with counting. And the Mefarshim all try to figure out, well, what exactly is the purpose of counting? What does counting accomplish? So many of the Mefarshim get to similar points. But if I ask you, what does it accomplish to count?
You see how many people there are.
Good. So let me ask you a deep theological question. Couldn't God have just said, there are 603,550 men?
Didn't we also do like a
Yeah, Charlie, just leave it out.
But not this time.
That's next time.
Cool.
Fine, when we did the Machzah Shekel, fine. Right? But even there, like, you could have just said, look, this is how much money we need, and everyone, right? It was specifically, you should count,
you kill two birds with one stone. You get a nice donation for Hekdesh.
Fine, but why now? What? So, right, Rashi says, L'hodiach chibatan shel Yisrael. Right? And, right, building on the Midrashim, right, have different versions of this, right? That the Jewish people like pearls, and when something is, right, valuable to you, you count it because you love it, to make sure it's still there, to show concern. But the Akedat Yitzchak, who's the Akedat Yitzchak? What?
Answer the question.
No, not yet. Right? What? Late Rishon, early Achron, fine. 1420. It's 1420. I don't know what you count 1420. 1420 is usually considered late Rishon.
That's like
right?
Ramban, right? Ramban time?
No, this is after Ramban.
Oh, yeah?
It's pre-expulsion, right? Expulsion is normally like...
It was like 1300s.
I mean...
Right, 1420. He was born in Spain in 1420, which means, like, it's Revitzka Rama. So it's an interesting book as things go. It's more like philosophical essays on every parsha. It's long. Like anytime everyone ever quotes the Akedah Yitzchak to you, it's not like, look at this tiny little comment. It's, look at this tiny comment embedded in a 75-page essay on the parsha, and good luck finding the exact line, and that's why Bar Ilan was created, because they can, once you get a quote. But it's actually fascinating. So he writes about this, and I just want to read you his line, because he builds on Chazal's understanding of what exactly it means, right? We've been doing Midrash a lot this year, right? And he wants to be very sensitive to exactly what Chazal are getting at. So he writes that Chazal write B'amram l'hodiach chibatan shenimshalu l'kochavim, right? So in one of the versions of Midrash, it's not just that he loves them. He loves them, and they are compared to Kochavim. Shemotzian b'mispar u'machnisan b'mismar shne'emar u'kulam b'shem yikra. That he brings them out and brings them back in number. Right? Presumably, this is some sort of conception of the stars actually, moving or something, like moving in and out. Right? Chazal's sort of assumption that the sun goes into the earth in the middle of it, like that type of thing. I don't know exactly, but at any rate, he says ki be'emet chiba yitera noda'ad lahem. וזה טעם נפלא למה שיזכור הכתוב לכל אחד ואחד בשמו ויחסו בשווה כמשפט הראשון. And this explains why we count the way we do, why we designate the Shvatim the way we do, right? This whole process, right? I mean, it's a long piece, but I'm just picking a few lines, right? Where we don't just count individuals. We designate Shvatim, meaning there is this emphasis on definition, right? Defining the families, defining the tribes, numbering the people. כי כולם שווים במעלה ומעלת כל אחד נפרדת ממעלת חברו כמו המזלות. So what Chazal are getting at is that, right? Again, what's that line? כולם שווים במעלה. What does that mean?
Equal above?
They're all b'ma'ala's level, right? Their level is equivalent, or they are... Right. None of this level, status... Right. Stature, but umalat kol echad nifredet mimalat chavero, but they're distinct, right? And the notion of a count of individuals, right, is to say, right, they all count equally, right? But they're all different, right? Meaning, if God had just given a sum at the end and said there are 603,550, right? So you'd only see sort of the collective side of it, but the process of counting, right, and designating, and dividing, and defining, right, highlights the fact that each person counts, each Shevet counts, each family counts, each clan counts, right? Right. When you think about the words, right? Just this is one of the things that you sometimes have to remember in the Torah is it's not just right. The way the psukim are actually written should give you a feel for what it wants. Right. It's not just it's lemishbechotam levei davotam. Right. It's right. The puzzle goes out of its way. There's sort of a rhythm to it. Right. We count them. Right, the gulgulotam, the beit avotam, meaning there's an emphasis that we're doing this at multiple levels, right? We're counting them by family, but we're counting them by person, we're counting them by shevet, by clan, by the four camps, right? Everyone counts as an individual, as a group, as a bigger group, right? But they're also distinct, and therefore, right, he's playing on this. They have different flags, right, that represent their different identities. Kamo hamazalot, and he says that's similar. That's why Chazal compare them to stars, because the stars are each one is great, but they also make up constellations, right? The mazalot, the zodiacs, right? Each of which is distinct, but also supernal, right? Existing up there, right? Sheim nifradim mechutan, v'shavim b'malatan, v'kol echad ra'ui limano b'vnei atzmo b'mispar kochavav. Right? Each of them is worth being counted the number of its stars. Right? So what his basic theme is, which again, I don't think it's like a huge chiddush, but when you're lost in the numbers, right, it's important to remember that God didn't need this. Right? God doesn't, God could figure out how many there were without a count. But going through the process, right? What?
He doesn't need to figure it out.
Right. But to make people go through the process, which is to remember that each person counts, each family counts, each Beit Av counts, each Shevet counts, but they are distinct, right? And to highlight those two aspects, right? That everybody counts, every Shevet counts, but they all have different identities, right? That's emphasized by spending 100 psukim, right? Going through that, right? The sort of obsessive focus on detail and the zeroing in on each subsection of Klal Yisrael. Okay, that's I don't think it's a earth-shattering chiddush, right? But I think he probably puts it the most eloquently and also sensitively, right? Reads what Chazal are getting at in their midrash, what they're capturing midrashically, right? It's not just they're michibatan of the stars, right? It's a very specific way, right? Which I think gives at least a framing on Bamidbar. Okay.